Well, tell us about last year and just your general thoughts. How big of a transition was it? What was the tough part for you last year? Just learning.
So I would say the toughest part was just pass blocking. Coming out of high school, most of the time, most running backs aren't really doing too much pass blocking. Coach Burge, he was a big help. Him and Jacob Cabote, they were a big help in my development. And
So, did you think you would play, or was it when they that time when they put you in, it was a surprise, or what were your expectations coming out of camp, playing wise?
my expectations was always just the next man up mentality. Just wherever I was at, I was just always prepared to like play. Because anything happen, if Cabote goes down, then I know I could be next up. If like one man goes down, either him, Zylan, Dre, it's just the next man up mentality. So that was my thought process every week going into the game, no matter who we was playing, no matter what coach was telling me. It was just I prepared every week like I was a starter.
So you got the 4 games and the bowl in, right?
Yes, sir.
So where was there a point during there where you said, "Man, I can do this"? Like in a game, like where you started getting confidence and y'all were playing a pretty good team and you did well, which happened a couple times. Like
Yes, sir.
I can do this.
I would say it came when we played UAB. That's when I scored my first touchdown. It kind of hit me then, but it really hit me when we played ULM. It was like I can do this. Like I belong here. I think that's very key for I would say a freshman running back. Just like, seeing that they could play here. We always see it on TV. You see all these freshmen, and if you can see all these freshmen All Americans. So growing up, you would see those guys like the Leonard Fournettes of the world doing it when they were freshmen. So you just kind of look after those guys and be like, man, I could do this too. So when we played ULM, just the confidence after the game. They told me after the game I had 100 yards. I was like one of 7 freshmen to have 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like it was really exciting for me. Like just all the hard work from the time that I got here to that point. And it was the last time Cajun Field was ever going to be Cajun Field. So it was real special when somebody brought that up to me. So I would say it worked out well.
So before I forget, I know I'm sure you've done this a million times, but sorry. Like, what's the whole bill thing about?
The Bill thing comes from my mom's sister. She gave me the name Bill. It's a little show, Little Bill. hmm Yes, so I've had that name since birth, so it just kind of stuck. So from
You don't get tired of it?
I was like, because everybody's always wondering, like, my name's Elijah. Like, where do you get Bill from? Like, that's why maybe they look at me for a minute. It's like, oh, I can kind of see it. Maybe not now. I'm a little older, but so it just always stuck since birth. Everybody calls me that, from my teachers to everybody.
Does your mom or sister or anybody in your family call you Elijah, or no one does?
The only person in my family that calls me that is my grandmother. She calls me my whole name. She will not call me Bill. But for the most part, everybody calls me Bill.
So, from back in camp last year when you were just starting to learn, what were the things that you kind of struggled with that you really had to work on, and how is that now that you're in spring going into your second year?
I would just say back to pass blocking and just being consistent every day. We do football year round. So I would just say every day just coming with that. Coach Burge always like to say, how do you want your future to end? You know what I'm saying? So like right now, we're in the middle of spring, guys are tired, you know what I'm saying? Just how do you want it to end? Do you want to, look up, we're not playing in the Sun Belt Championship like we're trying to do, or do you want to be holding up the trophy? So I would just say just the biggest thing was just, for me, was just consistency, like just coming out every day. If I have a good practice, don't hang your hat on a one good day and then come out and have a terrible day. You just reset it yourself every day, just trying to find little things to get better and better on. That's what I had to work on.
I mean, in high school at Riverside, were you more of an inside runner, or you get mostly outside, or both?
I would say a little bit of both, but I would say maybe a little bit more inside, just because kind of like what we had. But it was really I wasn't really limited anything that we would call, so I pretty much do it.
What about this running back stable? Like, talk about running styles, and I mean, I'm sure it seems like everyone calls you a downhill runner, and is that kind of what you're focusing on?
Yes and no. So I've always tried to model my game after Leonard Fournette. I was a big Leonard Fournette guy, and like just watching him run downhill and just run through people's faces like him, and like Derrick Henry when he was at Alabama. And then I've also tried to try to get more looser in my hips because, like kind of like Christian McCaffrey, like how he's able to, he's not just a downhill runner. He can catch out the backfield. He's very elusive. You see it when he posts all his workouts online.
What about the catching part of the game?
You can always just get better at catching. You can never catch too many passes. So I think that was like another big thing for me was just working on my hands because you can never get too good at catching.
So what are your goals or expectations for this season?
My goals for this season is just to basically just get one step better each and every day. The goal is to obviously play more than I did last season, and then however it just kind of falls out, it's just kind of how it falls out.